We're here in the Pfaff BMW showroom. Pfaff BMW has actually been around for a year now, just over a year, but the sign just got installed a couple of weeks ago. So we thought it would be fitting that we would talk about the greatest BMWs in our BMW showroom. So really, why don't we start off by asking what your favorite BMW is?
Where are we going? Let's start with Barry.
All right, my favorite BMW is actually sitting right here. It's the E30 M3. That red one right there. It's classic. It's good. Gives a value. And just good to look at.
Yeah, the box fenders.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, it's the three box shape that BMW made famous. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But then with the fender flares and everything like that, it just really took it to another level.
Well, you forget how powerful looking a car that was back when it came out. Like it was a monster. It did things that no car had done before.
Won
had ABS
everything.
brakes.
Yeah.
It was, as a young guy, that was a wow. Yeah.
And the more you look at it, the more you realize how different from a regular 3 Series it is.
Yeah.
The roof.
Oh, it's definitely the
attachment on the roof.
The biggest change from the regular 3 Series out of all of them, for sure, right?
Fenders.
Yeah.
The whole rear glass section is different. That added on piece, etc. And high mounted rear trunk and spoiler. It's pretty crazy.
And it makes a lot of noise.
Yes, it does. Doesn't go anywhere, but
You want to tell us a bit about this car?
Well, this car is a Canadian vehicle, Toronto local car, originated from Beach Auto when it existed way back when. The car then left with the lady who owned it up to somewhere near Barrie and kind of sat in a garage for who knows how long before we finally sourced it and bought it and brought it back to life, sort of thing. So it's a 74,000 kilometer original car, original paint, original everything. It doesn't have a single modification done to it. It's
original
survived.
P700Z.
It's got original P700Zs on it, which I thought at the time was the best looking Z-rated tire. Back then, of course. But very cool car for sure.
And these cars have been rising in value quite a bit.
Yeah, they have for sure. I think one in Pebble sold for $95,000 US. So I think that was a new record for them. And this one here has a touch more mileage than that car, but the pedigree is definitely here with this one. So you know what I mean. It's a really nice piece, and I agree with you. It's
So
probably
part
one
of
the
that
best.
trend back towards cars that are 30, 40 years old, and
Yeah.
guys our age and older going out and looking to buy the cars they couldn't afford back then.
Yeah, the
Their
cars we
dream
had on
cars.
our posters on the
Exactly.
bedroom walls.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does a great BMW need to have a 6-cylinder engine? Because that doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But
I disagree, and that's probably why that's not my favorite BMW.
Right.
Actually, I don't even think 6-cylinder does it. My favorite M3 is E92, 110%. Best car
Still.
ever.
And what is it about that car?
Well, it was finally like 911 performance, I guess I can say, right? The power was finally there. It was finally the power matched the chassis. I always found, like, I had 2 E46s before that. I always found it a little bit underpowered. E36, you know what I mean, is arguably, with the North American version, kind of not a true M car to the
D2.
fullest extent.
Yeah.
It's really a 328 motor with it's actually a 3.2 liter with a 328 head on it, I guess, right? Or a 2.8 liter head. So the E92 had that level of refinement that I really liked about it. I think coupled with the 6-speed, it was a really, really, really fun car to drive. The one thing that's plagued, I think, all of them throughout the years, and it's no better, was the brakes were still not that great.
New car has great brakes.
The new one, which is the F80. That one has great brakes, but lacks a little bit in, like, not personality, just, turbo power is inconsistent. Sometimes it pulls really strong, sometimes it's almost there.
It's arguable with so many new cars. Same issues. Yeah.
I love naturally aspirated power, so if I can couple that chassis and those brakes with the V8, that would be the ultimate car, I guess. But
For me, the E46 M3 is the one to have. Just, not that fast by modern standards, but revs like crazy, sounds incredible. It's got like this real sort of metallic kind of buzzsaw sound to it, and I just like the looks of the E46. I think it's the best looking of them all. It's one of those flared fenders with really just beautiful shape.
I will agree. I think it's the best looking car for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think when this car came out, I think nobody could argue that it was probably the most handsome coupe ever.
Yeah.
The size is right.
Yeah.
A little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
too big, but it's big enough.
Yeah.
It's got a great interior, great seats.
Good
like
chassis.
everything.
Yeah.
Definitely a sexy car for sure.
And this green car has got some stuff done to it.
Yeah, this one's a individual series, so this weird paint color, messing something or
Messing
other. It's called.
metallic, yeah.
Yeah, messing metallic. And obviously the green interior, the trim and stuff. But this one's got a lot of dining kit on it, so individual throttle bodies have been ported. Dynon airbox. It's got Dynon exhaust and Dynon full big brake kit on it. Suspension is stock on it from what I can see, but definitely pulls nicely all the way to 8,300 RPM. And,
It's a great sounding engine too.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a spectacular engine.
yeah. Of the inline sixes is definitely my favorite, that's for sure.
But the V8s here.
I love it. I just love its association with Formula One. And I love the fact that it was an 8,500 RPM engine. Man, if it could be a 9,000, it'd be even better.
More is always more.
It was. I just love that motor. It was so satisfying. And at Mosport, the car was so balanced. I really, really enjoyed hustling it around there because I didn't really need the brakes that much there. So, but whenever I run a tighter course with the car, it was very, very tough. I'd lose the brakes after 3-4 laps starting on both.
How about you, Andrew?
E12 5 Series.
Whoa, that's old.
It's a car that still turns my head. All of the sharp nose cars, I
Yeah.
love them. And I think, there's points in your life when you come across certain vehicles and it's got that really low waistline and a really high roof line, and it still
Yeah.
has the leftovers of that 70s looking BMW
Yeah.
with a lot of the 80s technology going into it.
Mhm.
And I just remember being blown away by a 535 like I was standing still, and it looked like a brick on the road. And it made
Right.
that inline six, which I love.
Yeah.
It's silky smooth, great. Just the torque curve is there. It's just a satisfying car, and it just tugs at my heartstrings every time I see one.
You don't see them very often.
No, you don't. But again, in the States, they're starting to come up in value. People are buying like 528s as daily drivers just because they're built like bank vaults.
Right.
Yeah. And it just when you're in them, the glass house is so big.
Well, it's funny. It's like it feels like you're perched on a throne.
Yeah.
The body. Of
But
it.
to me, that's a
Oh, yeah,
European
you definitely
sedan.
feel like you're
That's-
sitting really high in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not really a luxury car at all. It's a full-size sports sedan.
Yeah.
It's not a big car here, but in Europe and other parts of the world, it's a hefty-looking car.
Yeah.
And that off-center rear tailpipe, it's all those little things. That,
Yeah.
When you're young and you see them, and they stop your heart.
What is it
Yeah.
about off-centered rear tailpipes?
They're wrong. So wrong. But,
I like them. They got
Yeah,
a certain.
they work
They were
smart.
offset to the right, correct?
To the left.
To the left.
To the
To the
left.
left.
Yeah.
What is it with all BMWs always having single exhausts, always exit left?
I don't know.
I think it doesn't make any sense. You're
Everyone?
right. 'Cause
Every
they're-
single one of them. Yeah. None of them was over.
Because of the battery on the other
I
side.
don't know.
I don't know,
Battery
you're driving on
is-
the right-hand
battery
side
is
of the
on the
road,
other
so the
side.
exhaust is
Yeah.
dumping out into the middle of the road. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
Okay,
sense.
what design is in every BMW from I think it was introduced in the 70s.
The King?
Oh, the King.
Yeah,
Hoffmeister.
Hoffmeister King, that's
Yeah.
it.
Where's
eh?
Nathan when you need him?
Yeah.
We just saw a video about the
And I
Hoffmeister.
think that's part of the reason why I like the four-door cars.
Yes.
Because to me, that's the profile that you
That
want to
rear-
see.
yeah.
It's like getting a 911 without that rear quarter.
Yeah,
window.
like a
It's
Target
not
just
911.
doesn't look like a
yeah, it's
911
wrong.
with
It
the
doesn't look
rear.
right.
Yeah.
So the BMW's got those certain styling cues that they have to have.
Yeah, it's funny. I really like driving the 3 Series cars, but the 5 Series cars I always found more attractive. My dad, his dream car was always an M5, and it was what's the first generation E28?
Yes.
First generation E20.
Yeah, so he wanted an E28 M5, never had one of those. He wanted the E34 M5, never had one of those. He still doesn't have an M5. But the E39 was only the second BMW E39 M5.
That's a good second BMW
Oh
to drive.
my God.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
I think I was like 22.
Oh, wow. It was the king, that car.
I got into that car. It's 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
It was,
They were
now-
still hand built.
I don't know.
They were a little special.
Yeah, they were a
Fine.
little, the engines were super,
In Road
super
and Track,
special.
like maybe 3 months ago, they put it
Yeah.
up against the new Impala SS.
Yeah.
The E39
Yeah.
M3, or sorry,
M5.
M5.
Yeah,
So then the M5 won the competition.
yeah. Well, I would hope so.
Well, you know what I mean? But you're talking about like, what, 15 years later kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And these days, 400 horsepower isn't that much. It's
But when
not
that number
ridiculous.
came out, you just
It was
Well, the
crazy.
first one I ever saw on the road, the guy had a custom plates at 400 HPM.
yeah.
It was 4QQ HP.
Was it? Was
right?
that-
The blue one?
Yes, it
Used to
was
see that
blue.
one around.
So cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So that's
And
your
then-
car, Lawrence?
Yeah, that's the one that made the biggest impression on me. Like, I would still love to have one if I could find one that hasn't been thrashed or has a gazillion miles.
Well, just
on it.
E39 in general was a hot looking car, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like even a regular 540i was pretty sick, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
540.
seeing
Yeah,
on-
540 with an
on
M
the
Sport
roads.
Yeah,
package
yeah.
looked
That was-
looked
I had
really
an M
good.
Sport package on a 528.
Yeah.
And that
And-
still looked.
and it was
cool.
honestly-
D-badge, you know?
Yeah,
You
no
know,
one
but,
knows.
but I remember I'm driving that to Nova Scotia, and I just remember thinking, there is no better car than this. Like, it was just
Like
so
all
capable.
around, there really
Yeah.
wasn't. And what's cool about all of those cars is that you could get a manual transmission,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like it
And it was a good manual transmission.
It was a good manual transmission, but you could
I
have.
think it's been the same one for.
I think it's the same.
The F81
yeah.
feels just like it does in that car.
But like I love the fact that you could get a manual transmission with any of the engines.
Oh, yeah.
And that isn't the case today.
No.
And sometimes those manual transmissions today aren't that
great.
It's like they pulled them out of a box somewhere. and
Yeah.
You
stuck
know,
with
the
it.
thing is though, as the cars have grown in size, I think manual just doesn't work anymore if the car is like too big and too heavy.
Yeah.
Like I find it more of a burden than anything.
Well, we're not comparing them to automatics anymore. We're comparing them to twin clutches.
Yeah,
which are-
exactly.
yeah.
Which
You
at
get
that
so
point,
much
I
more
feel like you
performance
kind of
out
get
of the
everything,
engine,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the more disappointing cars I ever drove was a E90. No, what's the E60 M5, but with the 6-speed.
Oh, really?
See, that car with the SMG was okay, not the most refined around town, but you know, the harder you drove it, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's wind up.
That car has by far the best BMW engine.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, that thing sounds fantastic.
Never take it out of
Crazy.
second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You never take it out
It
of second.
sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, 30 liters per 100 kilometers.
Good
It's
nice
because I
muffler
think
delete
it's-
and
My
it's-
brother had one, and he's like, "This thing's not that fast," and I'm like, "You
Just
gotta
driving
just
it
wind this
completely
thing."
wrong.
So I took it out and I was off the rev limiter in this thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, okay, it's starting to generate some pull now.
And the car was big enough for the engine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
But that car, they did the manual transmission just for North America, ironically.
It's
Yeah,
a lot of
Europe did
manufacturers are doing that just for North America.
And
They made a limited production DCT one too in Europe only.
boy, that car.
Well, that's
That
the
would have been
ultimate
That would've
insane.
been
That's the
great,
ultimate
yeah.
car. Yeah.
That car with a manual, because it was a 6-speed instead of a 7-speed, and I think it was the 6-speed out of a 540 or
Yeah.
something. It just
The 5 Series
didn't come together.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
new one they got
SMG
newer
is great.
wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Well, that's SMG3, so it's got a nice auto blip working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing
Yeah.
that sucks is like the upshift
The
if it's
lurchiness.
like, you know what I mean, part throttle or whatnot. But full on, like, yeah, it feels like the diff's about to hit you in the back of the head. You know,
And it feels a little like
works.
a race car. Like it's
Well,
got
that's
that,
cool.
it's
It's
got
a
that
rock.
sharp.
It's
edge
a
to it.
rock car.
Yeah.
Like that was the Ford or Ferrari at the time.
Yeah.
It like had a very peaky motor in it. The sound was very exotic.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really understand why they needed the button to go from 4 to 5.
Yeah, I don't
horse.
know.
But we all kind of enjoyed it. You know, you almost like hitting a nitrous button when you're
Yeah.
already put to the
It's
floor.
like your first thing you get in the car, you just
Yeah.
Yeah.
switch that button right there.
Turn everything on
Yeah.
or off.
Yeah.
Depending
And
on
it had
what
like
it is.
6 or 7 different settings for the gearbox, aggressiveness.
But I like the fact that you get that M button because you just
Yeah, you
hit
just
it and
save
it
it,
just
yeah.
puts everything where you
Yeah.
want it to be. So I
The
can
new one's like, do you
appreciate
want
that.
1 or 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was an edge to that that isn't in the new M5. But
No, the new M5 is a brilliant car. It's so
but
fast.
It's
maybe too fast.
insanely
You know, like it's difficult to get the
It's
power down.
it's pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And
So
you
it's a
feel like you're driving a
It's
big,
violent.
Yeah.
like you feel like you're driving a
Believe
big
it.
luxurious car.
You
as
can
well.
definitely tell like Chris Pfaff always wanted one because as soon as we got this store, he ordered like the most decked out M5 ever.
Competition.
Frozen
Yeah.
black, ceramic
Yeah.
brakes,
Yeah, you were
everything.
nuts on that. I was like,
That was
"No,
nice
you've
to drive."
You've always secretly wanted one. You just couldn't see it.
Not bad
Well, I
marketing
think-
now, are you?
Yeah.
Like, it's a good fit into the family, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
for sure. I think that
driver, you want to have BMWs.
oh, certainly. You know what? I've been around Porsche for the most of my automotive career, and I've always gravitated to BMWs because you just kind of get everything, right? Like when you look at the M stripes and you have the blue and the purple and the red, you know what I mean? The red represents one thing, the blue represents another, and then you put them together and you got 4 seats, you've got performance, you've got like civility, and the car can like get the job done day in
But
and
you
day
get
out.
a chassis.
Yes.
And it didn't matter. I mean, I've put a lot of them on the road. I've owned a lot of them. And even if you're picking up somebody's base 323 with an automatic transmission, and you go around a corner and you go,
You still love it.
it's a real
Yeah,
great
yeah,
car. And
yeah.
you can drive cars that are twice the price with more horsepower and more carbon and stuff. And you get angry when you go around a corner because it should be better than it is.
Mhm.
You
And
know
even
that-
the cheapest BMW always had that integrity. That
It always
backbone.
felt like a BMW.
Exactly. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? In a very light trim like 323 or 325, E9X was a really good car, man.
Yeah.
Like really good.
Yeah.
Like my ex-girlfriend had one, I remember, and I was just same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy driving.
You're
It had
smiling when
no power,
you're driving
like
it.
zero, and it was
Yeah, zero.
automatic. It was the laziest transmission ever. But as long as you got it going,
Trained
like
it.
you can toss it around
Yeah.
corners, and it's like it's so much feedback. You know exactly what it's gonna do. The edges of adhesion were very very clearly cut out. Fantastic chassis for sure.
My wife was driving my old 328D, and she going from an Audi, and she was flying through corners like a
You have
sports car.
so
Yeah,
much
it's a
confidence.
diesel, and she was just out with it.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
does the job.
Yeah,
that's
the
for sure.
diesels actually, I
Yeah.
spent a couple of days in
I liked it.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I liked it better than the gas engine. Like for the 328, I
yeah,
really
the
liked it.
diesel.
It
Very,
goes like
very-
hell.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a diesel that loves to rev. Like, you don't really, most diesels, they're kind of lazy, you get lots of torque.
This has
but-
got edge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a bit of an edge. Like,
Keep
it's
going
not the
and the engine's
quietest.
still pulling. Yeah, it's not the
engine.
Maybe
quietest.
this is a 328.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, I drove a wagon, I loaded up a 328 diesel wagon, and I'm
Yeah.
going, this is way more car than I thought it was going to be. Like, it was fun to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It handled well. As we said, my wife was flying through corners, and I was just scared.
Yeah.
My favorite BMW is not in the showroom, but it is a Z3 M Coupe
Is that
Oh,
three?
with
that's
the
a neat
with
car.
the S54 motor in it.
Alright.
That's
Okay, so
which
they
has a
did-
6-speed too, right?
No,
it's
5-speed
a
still,
Right.
which is kind of a little disappointing, but I think BMW did that for a reason. If they
Yeah.
put the 6-speed in it, it would have eaten that
Did
car
that car
alive.
sell here, or was it only the US?
Yeah.
Sold
yeah,
here
the
for only
last
2
year.
years.
2 years.
Yeah,
Last 2 years?
Yeah, last 2 years.
Yeah.
And that was with the Euro engine, that was 300.
That had the same motor as this,
Yeah.
so the 333,
Yeah.
5-speed.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Awesome car.
most quirky car. It looks.
But it works.
It works very well.
does
It's
work.
really
I
wide in the
actually-
Definitely
back.
I
work.
did like that car, but I do prefer the Z4M. Like,
Yeah, the
The
Z4 is
Z4
more
is
cleaner.
nice.
It's a
That,
clean
that's a
version.
good car to toss around.
Yeah.
And that's a future
But I
car.
like
Actually,
the
both of them.
I like the 3 because I've driven them both, and it's got character.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it's-
Oh, yeah.
that's the one thing I
And
liked about this.
The
it's
is
Z3 definitely
so
has
much
more character.
Yeah.
It's
So
definitely unmistakable.
beefy back.
And it
Yeah,
requires
the
that
FF
you,
clearly
and it
came
requires
from
that you drive.
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
Whereas the Z4 was way more a much better composed package.
Yeah.
Me, a Phoenix Yellow,
Oh, yeah,
Z3
Phoenix
M
Yellow.
You're
Coupe.
going as weird as possible.
I want as weird as possible.
Because the Phoenix yellow interior.
Yeah, no
seat
Kiwi
inserts,
interior for me, but
What are
be
you
black.
talking about? It looks fantastic.
Well, that's olive.
That's
Is that all?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Look any different?
The
I
Phoenix
couldn't
yellow.
decide.
Yeah.
See,
I would do the Phoenix Yellow Z3 M Coupe.
If you're
That'd
gonna
be
go
like,
Elliot, go all the way.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to just go as weird as possible.
And what are you driving now?
I drive a 2015 M235i Track Edition. So one of 50 cars in Canada. It's a little bit lighter, so no sunroof, manual seats, has a limited slip diff, which drives like night and day difference from my I used to drive previous was a
This is an open diff.
228 was open diff, and the open diff, and that car was unpredictable at all. You drive it and you'd be like, oh, I don't know what's going on here. This car, you turn the traction control off wherever you're going. Wherever you put your foot more into it, the car's going to continue steering itself there.
The other day, I heard you driving out of here. That thing sounds
Yeah, it
awesome.
sounds fantastic. It's very nimble. To me, it's like driving the 1M Coupe all over again, just not a wide-bodied car. Still
Yeah,
that
you want the
same-
wide body though.
Same has that. Well, we got the M2 coming out in the next year, and I think that car will be unbelievable to have.
Turbo.
Is that going to be a limited run like the one in?
They haven't released yet. We know there's just
We're
limited
all
colors.
just assuming
Yeah.
when it's coming.
It's only two color choices. So you got Long Beach Blue, Alpine White, Mineral Gray, and Black Sapphire. You can get a 6-speed or a DCT, which is nice. And then interior one color, blue with black with blue stitching.
Oh, that's good.
No sunroof.
That's really
It's going to be a pretty cool.
Yeah.
So there's one other BMW that actually isn't a BMW that I want to kind of throw in there. You know which one it is. I think the greatest BMW is a McLaren F1. That engine, I haven't driven one, but everything you read about, like
It all goes
600
back to
plus
that.
horsepower.
Paul Roche really did his
Oh,
work on
boy,
that
boy.
on that engine.
And you look at the engine bay in that car,
All
it's
the
just
gold.
lined with gold and
Yeah.
intake
the tool
runners on the
set,
top.
gold,
Oh my
all
God.
that.
You know, I love that car, and you know we were lucky enough to see one pretty up close again
Yeah.
just this past
Couple
Pebble
weeks
Beach
ago.
trip that we did, and you know, beautiful car, obviously so tiny.
It's
you know,
so small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's miniature, and then this big hunking 6 liter is back there. Is it 6 liter or
Yeah,
6.3?
6 liter.
Right where it should be.
6
Yeah.
liter,
Yeah.
right where it should be, and that beautiful intake manifold and that plenum and that airbox,
Yeah. All the
way at the top of the
roof.
that roof snorkel, which has now become like signature for McLaren, and
Yeah.
you know, a very big deal for us for sure. But man, what a motor! And every time you read about it, and if you watch that video, those guys talking about their victory at
Oh,
Le
my
Mans,
God,
like they
man.
always go back to, you know, it was a great car, but what was most
all about
fantastic
the
was the
engine.
engine. And you know, I guess I'm proud being a BMW driver and always have been to look in the back of a chassis like that, and you know, arguably the best naturally aspirated supercar of all time.
Arguably still
Or
the
the
best
best
car
supercar
of all
period, hypercar
time.
period.
Yeah.
And just looking in there and seeing that beautiful valve cover powered by BMW and M-Power in the other corner, and it's like, wow, this is it. This is
Yeah.
where it's all
Yeah.
at.